In the chat, I put the new website. So I updated it to a simpler website. It's just www. That's okay. I got you. The remedyfit.com. So if you have it bookmarked because you log in on the computer instead of through the app, then go ahead and bookmark that new address. The old one, the Arquetta, it was the remedyfit.arquetta. That still works for now. Some of you probably logged on through that. But this is much simpler, and there's going to be a new email and all of that good stuff. So I will send that out in a newsletter, which should go out before the weekend, and that'll have updates on that and the classes for August. And we're starting an August challenge, August 1st, which is going to be 4 weeks. It's more of like a health and healthy habit challenge. So that'll be really fun too. So there's lots of stuff to look forward to. All right, with that said, I'm going to get my wild dog a bone and we are going to get relaxed, hopefully. Okay, so at home, if you need it, grab a mat, grab some pillows. You may need a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, like a thick book or a pillow could work also. So those are all good things to have on hand. You want a bone? Yeah, you do. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go ahead. You don't want a bone. You're fine. You're fine. Okay, we're going to start from a seated position today. Let me bring this up just a little bit. Here we go. So just find somewhere where you're comfortable sitting down. You can be on a chair, on the couch, on the ground. If you're on the ground and you want a little bit of support, we can elevate the knees with the pillows on the sides right there. And we're going to take our grounding breaths to start. So that really is just to calm us down, get us set and ready for the class. So we're going to inhale through the nose, think expansive breath up, wide through the rib cage, through the back. And then we exhale slow and think of grounding downward. So when you're exhaling, everything is just relaxing down, right? So let's try that. Inhale through the nose. Think expansive, hold at the top. Exhale long. Grounding downward. So you want to feel yourself sort of sink into the ground, to the chair. Relax with each breath. Let's go again. Inhale big. Exhale. Grounding downward. Let's go again for 3 more breaths. Inhale big through the nose. Exhale. Couple more, team. Keep focusing on those big inhales. Exhale, relax, release. Let's get 1 more of these. Good, okay. From here, we're going to do just a little bit of like joint rolling, right? So we're going to start with our shoulders. You're going to come up, back, and down. So really shrug up, exaggerate the movement. Pull them together and down. Up, back, and down. Think about taking those big breaths too. Inhale up, exhale back and down. Inhale up, exhale back and down. 2 more. Roll up, back and down. Back and down. Good. Okay, now we're going to move on to the wrists, which we use all day but are often neglected when we think about stretching and mobility. So you're going to start with your thumbs up, and we're going to rotate to palms up to palms down. So you can just have the elbows by the side. I'm giving you a thumbs up. going all the way to the palm up, to the palm down. We're not moving the elbows here. We're thinking of moving the forearm, moving the wrist without the elbows going out to the sides. Go for about 5 more. Bring thumb out and down. Last 2. It's funny how they can fatigue rather quickly when we focus on them. And good. Okay, relax for just a moment. And now we're going to roll the wrists. So it doesn't have to be perfect here. I'm just making big circles, right? So it can be kind of all over the place. You can do them together. You can make them alternate. It doesn't matter. Just roll them out. Again, the elbows don't move. We're focusing on the wrists. In just a few more seconds. Great, okay. We're gonna move up back to the shoulders. I want you guys to bring the arms out nice and wide. You can make these little fists right here. We're gonna bring one hand behind the head. So you're bending the elbow. The other one rotates inward and goes to the spine. So think mid-back area there. And then we unravel it and switch sides. One side's probably going to feel very different than the other, and that's totally normal. The key here is to really feel the shoulders rotate. We're not just focusing on bending the elbow, you actually want to extend it all the way out when we switch arms. And just do the best you can here. If there's any pain, go back to those shoulder rolls. And always watch when we're doing shoulder mobility exercises that we're not compensating by arching the back. Keep the rib cage down. Back slightly tucked under, pelvis slightly tucked under. Let's go 2 more. Really roll the shoulder. And okay, go ahead, bring it down and relax. Okay, from here I want you to walk into a seated twist. That means my right arm is going to go behind my body. My left arm crosses over. Take a big breath. Exhale down. Walk across to the other side. Really lift the chest up here. Inhale. And then exhale. Walk it on over to the other side. Lift the chest. One more. And let's go back to center and relax. Okay, we're going to move the head a little bit now. So I want you to move to the right side. Think chin up here, not coming down just yet. And then roll over to the other, looking over the opposite shoulder. What we're not doing is shrugging that shoulder up as the head moves. Focus on just moving the neck, the jaw, individual to the rest of the body, not allowing the rest of it to tighten up as you move side to side. Just a couple more. One more thing to be aware of is if you feel like your head's coming forward. If that's the case, push your chin back and down slightly and get it back in alignment with the rest of the spine. That goes for throughout the day too. If you're in your car, you just feel stressed, or even at work or on the computer, and you need to do a chin check, right? If we're on the computer like this, go ahead and keep rotating too. We're like this, and the chin is in front of the chest where something's wrong and we're stressing the neck. So go ahead and pop the chin back there. You can just check yourself throughout the day, and that's a good way to keep the shoulders and the neck healthy. So now that we've warmed up and loosened up the neck a little bit, we're going to do a bit of circles. So think like a rainbow here. The chin comes up, and then it goes down, shoulder to shoulder. And just move slowly again, watching out for any tension that's building up in the traps, upper traps right here. Feeling like you need to shrug up, let it relax down. I swear some of the most used parts of our bodies, from our neck to our wrists and feet and fingers, we don't focus on a lot. They need love too. Let's go one more. Roll up. Feel that stretch along the side. And other side. Okay. Lastly, from this position, I want you to go fingertips to the back of the head here. Again, watch for any rib flaring. Make sure the rib cage is down, tucked tight. We're going to pull the elbows in, round forward, and then open up, stretching the chest. And pull the elbows in. You pull the abs in here, intentionally rounding and flexing the spine, and then pulling up. If it feels good, I want you to go into a little bit of extension, meaning that we're going to flare the ribs intentionally and arch the back and then move back into that rounded, flexed position. If you have any back pain, then go ahead and stop at more of a neutral stretch, which would be right about here. Let's go 2 more. We'll move more into the hips. Good, okay, go ahead, bring it down, shake it out a little bit, relax. We're gonna go to a hands and knees position. And you can always put a pillow underneath your knees if you'd like to have a little bit more support there. If the wrists are bothering you, using your couch or a chair, something of this sort, you can elevate yourself. Let me just show you what that looks like. So that would be over here. So instead of loading the wrist down in that position, you can be elevated right there. You can also go into the forearms there and do most of the exercises from that position as well. So those are some options for you. I'm gonna use the pillows underneath my knees because why not? Okay, so we're going into this tabletop position. When we're here, we're always making sure that the wrists are underneath the shoulder and the knees are underneath the hips. I'm going to adjust my stance so you guys can see me a little bit better. And so go ahead and find what's working best for you today. And the back is neutral, so we're not dropping down right there or rounding up into flexion there. You want to find right in between. We're going to start with some hip circles. So I'm going to take my left leg, keeping the knee bent, and I'm going to go out to the side and roll little circles. They don't have to be huge, just loosening up the hip. And you can go a little bit slower, totally fine. Yes, I'm making you do a core and shoulder exercise. If you haven't noticed, you'll be supporting yourself. Go 2 more with this left side. And bring it down. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to our right side. Make sure that you went back to your, what I call stable table position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then I'm going to do those circles with the right side. This is where your pillow can get in the way. I'm going to move that guy. Just nice and smooth. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just really try to move from the hip. Let's get about 4 more. Good, okay. And I want you to rock back into a child's pose in between. So we're going to sit the hips to the heels, reach the arms out wide, widen the fingers, and you can just stretch gently side to side. Okay, let's come back up to that tabletop position. I'm going to pull my left leg, which is now loosened up from all those circles, and bring it forward here. So if you have a yoga block, that's where it might work for you to elevate yourself a little bit and put the hands on the block here, right? Or we can use the couch like I showed you before. And we're just going to rock forward and slightly back here. So just moving around in the hip, feeling where it's tight. If you round the back a little bit, it's okay. It's not a big deal, not too big of a deal in this position. Spend a couple more seconds, going back and forward. Okay, so now I'm going to continue with this left leg, but I'm going to bring it out to the side. So now I've got my left leg straight, my right knee is bent, my hands are still underneath my shoulders, and I'm rocking back. So now there's a big emphasis on the inner thigh. And same thing, just move nice and slow and smooth. Absolutely feel free to elevate your hands on the surface if you need to get a little bit more movement in the hips and a little bit less load in the shoulders and wrists. Go a few more seconds. Okay, we're going to go back into our child's pose. Hips to the heels. Rock a little bit side to side. Still taking those deep breaths, making sure that you're not holding your breath throughout the movements. And come up, we're going to do the same sequence on the right side. So I'm going to adjust this so that you guys can see me. We have a bone standoff going on back there. Daisy doesn't usually want one, so I'm not being mean. I just didn't think she wanted one today. Apparently she did. Okay, we're going to take that right leg now and bring it forward. And I'm going to just rock back and forth. All right, side is much tighter today. You might find something similar, whether it's the right or the left. Just daily movement patterns sometimes cause that. Or injury if we're protecting something. Go a couple more seconds, rock back and forward. You can even elbow out to the side to get a little bit more of a hip opening. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this right leg out. So straight leg there, getting more of a stretch through the inner thigh, rocking back and coming forward. Keep this leg straight. Make sure that your knee doesn't feel funny or twisted down. Make sure it's rotated slightly upward. Go a couple more seconds. Yeah, good. Okay, go back to your child's pose. So sit back into the hips and the heels. Again, just widen the fingers, bend the knuckles, rock a little bit side to side. Okay, so we're going to be staying down here. We're going to go to a kneeling position. Let me adjust you guys a little bit. I do like to keep the pillows for these, especially if you're on the hard floor. I'm going to have you bring the left leg forward. So we're at 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here from the side. This is what it looks like. I'll actually stay there for you guys. So front heel is off the ground, left foot is fully on the ground. From here, we're going to do a couple rolls of the pelvis to get a little stretch through the hip flexor. So I'm intentionally arching my back. Think of a bucket being spilled forward, water's coming out this way. Now I'm going the opposite way, and the water would spill out behind me. So only moving through the pelvis and rolling up. Good, go one more, go into that arched position. And now tuck under, getting that hip flexor stretch. And now we're gonna hold right there. So I really want you squeezing that right glute, right? Make sure that the butt's really firm there. We're gonna bring some arms into it. So leaning forward, big stretch up with the arms, and then pushing back. Very stable over that left leg. Sometimes we might need a little bit more stability. Hold on to the couch right there. Do just the right arm. Right now I've got my left arm giving me a little bit of an anchor so that I can move more freely and get more out of it. One more. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and switch the leg out. Here again so you guys can see me. And we'll do the same sequence. So you're going to go into an arched position, pull the pelvis upward, the hips to the belly button, and down, and up. Let's get a few more. Really focus on moving the lower back, the pelvis here, not a whole lot more. Really good for lower back pain to have control of these muscles and these movements. Let's go 2 more, and then we're going to hold. And hold. Okay, let's squeeze that left glute. So I've got this neutral position, rib cage is down, pelvis is tucked, and now I'm going to shift forward. As you can see, there's not a huge arch in my back as I'm shifting forward. I'm staying tight, getting more hip flexor stretch on that left side. Have something next to you for balance if you need it. If you're falling out of any of the positions, always go for a modification where you can feel more stable. It's way more important that you get more out of the stretch and the movement. You're not just focusing on trying to stay still in it. Let's go 2 more. And nice, okay. So we've got 1 more here. We're going back to that left leg forward, okay? And then now we're gonna walk the left leg out to the side here. If you see giant welts on my legs, don't be alarmed, guys. It's just, I'm allergic to mosquitoes and it's mosquito season. Awesome. Arms are gonna come out nice and wide, wiggle those fingers. And I'm gonna bring my left arm down and look up over my right side. Another place where a yoga block or a book comes in handy would be right underneath my left arm. I'm going to take it all the way down to the ground, but if you don't have that flexibility, you can also use your leg like a little shelf right here. So I've got my left forearm resting on that leg. And then back up. I'm going to go down with the straight arm there. If you need to use that little shelf or a yoga block, go ahead and do that. Bring it back up, about 2 more. Really lengthen through this right side of the body. And nice, okay. Let's bring that right leg forward. Walk it on out. All right, we're widening the arms. I've got this straight line here. Knees on the ground, foot is on the ground. I'm going to come down on the inside of that right knee, reach long and over if it's there, and get a good stretch. Remember, you can use a shelf, right? You don't have to go all the way down to the ground. Totally fine to use this leg as a shelf here or a yoga block by the foot. I love all these lateral stretches. They always feel good. Don't forget your breath. Big inhales. Expand. Exhale, come up. And up. Let's go 1 more. And up. Okay. We're going to move down onto our back. So now is a good time to take a drink of water if you need it. Position yourself in a good place. A lot of this stuff you can do from a couch also, or you can even do from a seated position. Yeah, so figure out what's going to be best for you. I'm going to put a pillow just underneath my head. If you have low back issues or you feel like you arch when you're down on the ground, it helps to put one underneath the knees, and that will just put you into more of like a natural pelvic tilt under. So might as well do that today too. Let's see. Moving you guys around a little bit. All right, grab that water. Meet me on the floor. Skylar, girl. Go to crate. Come on. Go to crate. Come on. Good job, Baba. Okay, go night night. All right, you guys can see me there. So we're gonna rest on our backs here. The palms are gonna be up. I want you to think of the shoulders just widening and dropping down. So a lot of times we feel them just pull upward toward the collarbones, toward the chest. You want to think opposite. Just bring it down and relax. Let the feet fall wide, toes out to the side. Everything is just relaxed down into the mat. From there, we're going to take our right knee. So we're bending the right knee and I'm grabbing it with my right hand. I'm just going to pull it into the chest. And then I'm going to go in a couple more of those circle movements, right? And I don't want to be rocking too much with the rest of the body. I want to really just use my hip. Go a few, maybe 5 or so one direction. And you can switch it up and go the opposite direction. Good. Okay, from here I'm going to take my right knee. I'm going to grab my left ankle and I'm going to push out with the knee. So instead of pulling it in right now, I'm pushing it out right there. You can also bend this knee if you need to so that it rests here. That's totally fine, especially if your flexibility is not quite there and you feel like you're reaching for your leg here. Push out, pulling that ankle in, knee in, and push out right there. If you're seated, you can bring your ankle across to your opposite knee and pull that up toward the chest and then push it away. Let's go 3 more on this side. Pull in and push. Okay. And then we're going to move on to that left side. So in between, just find your relaxed position. You might have tightened up a little bit. It becomes a habit after a while. So think, let the shoulders fall down. Let the legs fall out. Hips open up. And breathe. And then we're going to grab that left knee, pull it into the chest, just give it a couple hugs here. And then we'll roll it around. You can use both hands or just one hand, however you feel like you have more control. And the other direction. Go about one more, even it out. Good, okay, and then now I'm going to grab that ankle and push my knee out, let it come in and out. Again, you can work from here, pulling in and out, or from a seated position with the ankle crossed over to the knee. Work with your body, see where you're getting the most stretch. Get a couple more. Last 2. Good. Okay, I want you to bend the knees now. Stop. I'm going to get rid of this pillow. So you have both knees bent, feet are going to be flat on the floor. Now we are bringing that ankle to that opposite knee. So I'm going to bring my right ankle up to my left knee there. A little pipsqueak. There you go. And then I want you to bring this foot, my right foot, down to the left. So I'm letting it fall down. I'm not allowing my right shoulder to roll up here. Taking some breaths, feeling the length through the side of the body into the glute and the hip. And just reaching slowly across. Really relax this right shoulder. Try not to be here where you're off the ground, that shoulder's in a funny position and you feel uncomfortable. Bring it down. If you're up here, it's totally fine. Use a yoga block. Use something underneath your feet, a pillow. You can still go and get the most out of the stretch. One more big breath here. think of the muscles relaxing and lengthening. You don't want to hold the rest of your body tight. You will not respond if we're really stressed in other parts of the body. Okay, roll on up. Go for the other side. So I'm going to bring my ankle to my knee. My left arm is going down to the ground. And now I'm going to cross. I'm going to take this arm so I can get a little bit more of a stretch by pulling my knee down. But this is really only an option if we have this left arm firmly on the ground without feeling like this, without the shoulder coming up and being all wonky there. Wonky is the word of the week. A couple big breaths. Let's go one more breath. Nice. Okay, go ahead and roll on up. Let's hug both knees into the chest. Just rock gently side to side so you're getting a little bit of self-massage to the lower back there. You can pin some areas if you feel any tenderness. Okay, last one we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. We can't all leave out the hamstrings, right? You're going to bring one leg up to 90 degrees. Let's start with that right leg. This is going to be an active hamstring stretch. So my left leg is on the ground. The knee is going to be bent. That's going to help me stay in a more optimal pelvic position. And then actively, I'm going to straighten that right leg and pull it back down and straighten it up. You're out here, you know what I'm going to say. Totally fine, right? Even if it's just to there. Each rep, try to get just a little bit more of a stretch. Let's go 2 more. Back down. And then on this last one, we're going to hold the position wherever you are. So bring the leg up. And now we're mobilizing the ankle. So you can see my leg is pointed, my toe is pointed up. I'm going to draw some big circles. I actually rolled this ankle 2 days ago, so it's a little bit tender, but that feels good. Daisy, what you doing? She acts like she hates her sister, and as soon as she goes in her crate, she's like, I don't know what to do. And then roll the opposite direction. And keep getting that hammy stretch, right? Try not to let that loosen up. Keep stretching. And relax that right leg. Okay, left leg, we're going 90 degrees. Bring it up. Back down. Up. Go for a few more. Just try to get a little bit more length each time you extend the knee. Let's go last 2, and then we're going to hold. 1 more, and hold. Point the toe. Might feel a stretch through the front part of the leg right there. And let's roll the ankle. Pointing the toes, wiggling the toes. Just the ankle moving. Nice stretch through the entire backside of the leg. And other way. Couple more. And good. Okay, one more time. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. Give that side to side little rock. Giving some love to the lower back. And good. Okay, let's come back up to our seated position. Other than being sweaty, my body's feeling pretty darn good right now. I can't wait for fall and winter classes where it's all cozy and warm. It'll be nice. All right, find your seated position. We're going to do a little stimulation of the lymphatic system through tapping. So we've done some lymphatic massage in one of the classes, and I'm working on a video to put up on that. But today we're going to use just more tapping points to get everything moving through the lymphatic system and circulatory system. So to do that, you can just make like little claws right here, or you can just use your 3 fingers and you just want to tap, right? So it doesn't have to be anything where you leave a bruise or anything like that, just very gentle. When we're doing lymph flow, everything's going to the direction of the heart, so we're always moving downward. So we're actually going to start up at the temples here, and you're going to do a very gentle, just tapping motion. So I want you to think temples kind of down, downward motion there, and tap. So take a deep breath. Tapping on the side, up through the temples, behind the ear, and downward. We're going to go up here to the bottom of the ear and behind it. So we're going to be moving down the face. Just spending about 15 to 20 seconds in each area. Now I'm on the neck here. I'm going to do a little bit closer for you guys. So right on the sides, just gently tapping right around those lymph nodes that every time we start to feel sick, we go, oh no, are they swelling? That's the area. Up and down. Through the back of the neck, the occipital ridge there, right at the base of your skull, and back down. Take some deep breaths. Breathing also stimulates the lymphatic system through the diaphragm, which is right next to the largest lymph node in the body, which is the cisterna chyli, and that's in the abdomen. Your breath always helps. I'm going to cross over and work my way down the neck. So you can do a little bit of that dragging motion also, or you can just gently tap here. We're going out around the collarbone, underneath the collarbone, and then meeting in the center at the thymus. You can go out and then back in a little bit. Make some noise, have some fun with it. And then we're going to get into the axillary region here, otherwise known as the armpit. Still trying to move downward, down toward the heart. I'm going to switch over to my other side. I'm going to go one more time over to my left. We have the left thoracic duct, which I think it's about 80% of your lymph goes through that side of the body. So I put a little bit more focus on that side of the body. And I'm just going to do a few smooth pulls down. You can get into the neck, the back of the neck, and just relax everything. Good. All right, the last one, I was speaking about this is cisterna chyli, which is in the abdomen, so think above the belly button, but underneath the rib cage. You're going to take your fingers, we're going to do just little pulsing, and I'm pulsing upward. So big breath, exhale. You just had dinner, you might want to skip this one, depends on how full you are. Move it around, move your guts. And last 3. And good, relax. If you're having some stomach cramping, that can also be a good thing to do. Just kind of loosen it all up. We tend to get really tight through there, and then we're blocking lymphatic flow, blocking circulation, and then digestion as well. So big breaths, little pulsing movements can really help with stomach aches. So, all right. I hope that you're all relaxed. You can go ahead and give yourself a big hug, take some big breaths there. Make sure to treat yourself well tonight, get a good night's sleep, and we will be back. Well, actually, we got bodyweight strength Saturday at 9:45, cardio and core Monday at 12:15, and then we will be back again for stretch and refresh on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.